How you doing, guys? I'm the Bearded Devil, and chances are, if you're listening to this right now, I'm not there. And Jose has been gracious enough to play this for y'all. So for that, Jose, thank you very much. Now, several times, Fla- Jose has tried to have flat earthers talk about the flat Earth. Do presentations. Ask them. Get them kind of to open up so we can ask some questions to them regarding the flat Earth. The idea behind it, and from what I can gather, is that we get away from the globe. All right. A lot of these discussions revolve around, pun intended, around the globe. Okay. And this is from both sides of the aisle, right? Flat earthers only want to talk about the globe or the not things about the globe. And the planet earthers want to defend the globe for whatever reason, I don't know, because it seems to be a futile endeavor. And the reason why I say this is because flat earthers usually, I would say that they don't start out as being a flat earther. Many of them proclaim the fact that they were, in fact, a quote unquote globe earther and that they loved the globe, they love science, they love space, all this kind of shit. But for whatever reason and through whatever methodology, they figured out that, hey, the Earth's not a globe. It's a fucking fairy tale. Pardon my not so good French. Okay, so they've already determined, hey, it's not a globe. Great. All right, fine. And then they proclaim that it's flat. Now, oddly enough, when they're going, it's not a globe, and the next breath is usually prove it's a globe, right? So I ask a very simple question: why? What what reason would someone who's not a flat earther try to explain to them, or need to explain to them, or quote unquote educate them on something that they've already determined is a fucking fairy tale? Here's that French again. Now, I want to kind of read you guys something. All right. Now, I've adapted it slightly so that it makes sense in context. We'll talk about the flat Earth sea lion and what they do. Okay. They do what's called sea lining, obviously. All right. Now, flat Earth sea lining is a subtle form of trolling involved bad faith questions. The flat earther disingenuously frames their conversation as a sincere request to be enlightened, placing the burden of educating them entirely on the other party. Sound familiar? If the flat earther's bait is successful, the other party may engage painstakingly, laying out their logic and evidence in the false hope of helping someone learn. In fact, the flat earther is attempting to harass or waste the time of the other party and has no intention of truly entertaining their point of view. Sound familiar? Instead, the flat earther reacts to each piece of information by misinterpreting it or requesting further clarification ad nauseum. On the surface, flat earth sea lining looks a lot like legitimate and honest Socratic inquiry. It is not. It is a form of deception. Now, to what end? It's really actually kind of simple. So that they don't actually have to talk about the flat earth. They don't have to have their claims about it challenged. So instead, they know what buttons to push to get you to do what they want. It's fairly simple. The flat earth will make some kind of anti-globe statement or globe denialist claim, and just like an organ grinder, we'll sit there and start cranking that music out just to watch the monkey dance. And lo and behold, the monkeys dance. Now, why? Again, if you know this person has no intention of actually going, yeah, you know what? Everything you said was absolutely correct, and I'm no longer a flat earther. It doesn't work that way. It will never work that way. But you do it day in and day out. There's the joke about the flat Earth reset, where a flat earther is given a succinct explanation for whatever it is that they appear to not understand, And then just to, if not at the same freaking conversation or same instance interaction, they will bring it up again, or at the very least, sometime in the future. It is always that way. It really doesn't change. And I'm looking at it like freaking Bill Murray and Groundhog's Day, going, "Wait a minute, I've seen this before." Because what happens is it's a knee-jerk reaction. You will inevitably, you being the planet Earther, will inevitably do their bidding by arguing for the globe. So they get you to make a claim that's supposed to be counter to their claim, and then they can just not ever have to talk about the flat Earth. Some people have noticed this and have kind of commented on it and have, unfortunately, failed in one simple way. They tried to say, "Oh, well, I'm gonna, they're gonna ask about the claims that the flat Earth made, and then they're gonna turn around and say, nah, it's a globe." It doesn't matter how many ways you do it, but if you end up going, it's a globe, or here's my evidence it's a globe, it's trying to compare it as opposed to addressing the claims made by flat earthers. It shouldn't be very difficult. They make a claim, positive, of course, for the flat earth, and then you sit there and simply follow that line of reasoning to its logical conclusion. Whatever that conclusion may be, uh, without the express purpose of pushing an agenda, i.e., trying to push the globe. It's not hard. And it's weird because there was a flat earther, can't remember his name for the life of me right now, but he said something that actually makes it's right. Not the way he's using it, of course, but at least he said something that was correct. Falsification doesn't require replacement, or doesn't necessitate question, whatever, however you put it. Either way, you don't have to just to falsify something doesn't mean you have to replace it with something else, right? The problem with him is that he inserts flat Earth, so it's not he already puts in a replacement, right? And he makes all kind, again, he makes his claims, but you're not allowed to question his claims because he just repeats the same statement, right? Expecting that that's supposed to somehow win an argument. I don't know how that works, but okay. And he just wants to talk about, inevitably, he just wants to talk about the globe and say whatever stupidity you perceive to be apparent, and that's a button. Or a flat earther will give a presentation, only it's just basically more globe denialism, with smatterings of tiny little bits of flat earth involved. Say, some claiming that, oh, this only works on a flat earth, it doesn't, and it's like, prove me wrong, prove it's a globe. Not that it wouldn't work on flat earth, or that whatever the claim is just doesn't make sense compared to the real world. Uh, you know, and that's what needs to happen. Allow them to make the claims. Allow them listen to the claims, and instead of going, "Yeah, you're wrong. It's globe, it's globe, it's globe," because all they're going to do is they're going to sit there and say, "Earth's not a globe. Prove it's a globe." It's the same shit over and over and over again. So stop feeding the flat Earth sea lions. It's probably going to be the hardest fucking thing you'll ever do, because it seems to be a Pavlovian response, right? I'll give you an example. The last night, or yesterday, last night for some people, yesterday for me, but uh, at the end, my final thoughts were a simple video clip, 1 minute, really easy. And what's weird is that someone was trying to debunk or try to give some kind of explanation as to what was going on. Well, the reality is they were trying to explain how it is that I did it. But here's the thing. I was in the call. I could have been asked. I know into the video. I know what all went into it. I'm aware. So poignant questions could have been asked. What was the entire purpose of it? What was the purpose of almost any of mine? I deal with claims made by flat earthers a lot. I listen to what they claim and I test it. I see if it holds water. And at the very least, I compare it to reality, for lack of a better term, to see if it comports with reality, or at the very least, that to see if the claims coincide with interconnecting, uh, interconnected other claims made by flat earthers. So, and the bad part is a lot of the quote unquote debunkers only see these interactions isolated. Now, some have sat there and said, well, if you combine all this stuff, it doesn't all, it starts to, not really, the pegs don't fit in the right holes kind of thing. That's fine and dandy. But then you turn around and say Earth's a fucking globe. Stop feeding the flat Earth sea lions. You can actually talk about the flat Earth, falsify the flat Earth, right? Compare what they have to say with, i.e., with reality, at the very least, but also with all the other things that they say. Okay. How many times have you heard a flat earther make a contradiction in the same breath? A lot, right? Take the hint. You don't need to defend the globe to question the flat earth. You don't need to defend the globe just because they say something stupid about it, or seemingly stupid. Just because someone's wrong on the internet doesn't mean you have to correct them. You can just ask them about it. You can talk about it. You can actually talk about the flat earth. Talk about it. You'll find that the more you talk about it, the less they want to talk. Well, they don't want to talk about it anyway, but the more you want to talk about it, the less they want to talk about it, because it's not fun for them. That puts them in the hot seat and they don't like it. And because they don't like it, maybe you should be doing it. So stop eating the flat earth sea lions and start roasting some toads in a very nice, cordial way. You ask them whatever claim they make, you sit there and just follow it to its logical conclusion. If it turns out to be absurd, then congratulations, you've achieved a reductio ad absurdum. If there's a logical contradiction involved, congratulations, you have an invalid argument. That's it. Every time they want to get away from the flat earth, bring them back to it. Because they will inevitably want to avoid talking about their own ideology, which is weird. Right? They don't need to be re-educated, because as far as they're concerned, their eyes are open, and you're basically telling them to stab them out. Anyway, hopefully this will be a good show. Hopefully we get to hear something about the flat Earth. Hopefully some dialogue can begin, and we can. No, I'm not going to say understand it. And by the way, if you sit there and say, "Oh well, if you talk about it and all that kind of stuff, that gives it some kind of credence," I'm gonna tell you right now, how's that worked so far for the globe? Because flat earthers talk about it a lot, and y'all talk about it a lot, but somehow or another they don't go, oh yeah, oh yeah, it's cool, yeah, because I heard about it. Y'all talked about it so much it didn't do anything. That's not a thing. You're not giving it credence. You're at the very least addressing what they say. So anyway, y'all have fun. Hopefully I'll be able to join you. Bye. All right, Jose, once again, thank you very much, and I am out.